when it comes to the magical world of witches and wizards, I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to knowing all the ins and outs of potions, spells, and who's in the House of Hogwarts. When Portkey Games did an absolutely stellar port of Hogwarts Legacy on Nintendo Switch, I must have played the game for weeks, being totally absorbed by a fantastic game world and a plot that they created, and it just seemed to have everything a witch and wizard could really want. Except for Quidditch, which fans then would joke that it would come as a DLC or standalone game to fill the void, and well, here we are with Quidditch Champions. What's it like? Get on your broomstick, select your position, and snitches get witches as we review Harry Potter Quidditch Champions for Nintendo Switch. Normally, this is a part of the video where I'd ask you to like and subscribe, but instead I wanted to talk about Movember. What's It Like is throwing its support behind my good friend Archie, who is leading the charge for Movember, which aims to take on mental health issues, suicide, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. If you would like to know more or want to donate to his campaign, click on the card that's just popped up on your video. Now, let's get back to it. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions doesn't really follow a narrative. Instead, it gets straight into it by practicing Quidditch in the Weasley's backyard before progressing to Hogwarts, the Triwizard Cup, and then the Quidditch World Championships. The initiation into the world of Quidditch is a gentle one, slowly introducing roles and rules along the way, allowing you to understand the game. Honestly, it's a game that really shouldn't work on paper, as it just seems like a mess of elements thrown together, but in execution, it's an incredibly fun time, full of high-octane thrills that will have you chasing balls, dodging balls, and catching little balls. Now, I know you didn't come here for a breakdown of the sport of Quidditch, but we're going to have to break the roles down, as each one of it has its own gameplay element. During solo play, which you'll be able to play every member of the team, you have your chasers, who have to shoot the ball through hoops, otherwise known as a quaffle. You have your beaters, who can summon lead balls called bludgers, which knock your opponents out of action and open up avenues of attack. Your keepers protect the hoops to stop opponents from scoring, while also using their playmaker ability to lay out speed burst hoops. And finally, you have your seekers, who are the fastest riders that are tasked with catching the infamous golden snitch. In every match, you'll most likely switch between all of these roles in order to win, and that's what keeps you engaged, as the gameplay and the overall match of Quidditch are constantly evolving. There's something so thrilling about playing as a chaser and tackling and intercepting the quaffle as you fly at breakneck speeds. It's tactical and exciting, and it feels impactful, especially when you get past the goalkeeper. Once or twice a match, a golden snitch will appear, and then you can switch to your keeper and aim to catch it. The golden snitch is worth 30 points, so it's not a game ender like in the movies, but you can turn the tide of battle. To catch the snitch, you'll need to fly through the golden rings at high speeds to fill up your meter before finally catching it. This is where you can also play another tactic by switching to your beater to knock the enemy seeker out of action for 20 seconds to give you an advantage in the race to capture it. It's this dynamic gameplay that just kept me hooked on Quidditch Champions, allowing me to play positions I wanted to and seamlessly switch between them on the fly to keep everything exciting. And really, that's just the best way I can sum up Quidditch Champions. It's a very exciting game, and it keeps you constantly engaged in order to win. While there are only 4 specific cups in solo play, you will need to complete them multiple times on varying difficulties to unlock cosmetic items like uniforms, brooms, and stat upgrades as well. Each position will have unlockable skill points, but there's only a certain amount of points that you can allot in each one, meaning that you have to balance between the tech trees. You can also upgrade your broom by enhancing its speed and durability, and you can also dress your team in different clothing options to help them stand out. The management off-field may not have a lot of depth, but it does add a sense of pride and ownership over your team. There's also a constant stream of unlocks thanks to the game's internal, free season pass that offers themed rewards. The game is presented in a very stylized manner with a nice art style that isn't as serious as Hogwarts Legacy and rather fits the tone of the game, which is a more light-hearted affair. Effects like the wind rushing by your character to help illustrate a sense of speed and excitement, and it's all a rather grand affair. Arenas revolve around the iconic locations like Hogwarts and the World Cup Stadium, but also gives us a glimpse at things that we haven't seen in the books or movies, like the Beauxbatons or Durmstrang home pitches. Up close, the animations look great, but unfortunately, at a distance, the game can tend to show a more bland side of things, like players not being animated or simply floating in the air and suddenly appearing on the ground when knocked out. While in game, the frame rate stays rather smooth in both handheld and docked, and the minor slowdown in some parts is negligible at best. But there were a few instances of models glitching and blocking the view, and bugs that just hindered progress. There's also an inexplicable showdown in both the cutscenes at the start of matches and the celebration animations brought the game to a halt at the end of them. Thankfully, this doesn't affect the gameplay, but it does need to be mentioned as it may not make a very good impression. All of this though is backed up by fantastic sound design, which is accompanied by a good lot of commentary that doesn't overstay its welcome. The biggest problem I found with Quidditch Champions is that it requires an always online connection, even for your single player content. And as most of my review time was spent playing tethered to a mobile phone in a hospital, there was nothing more frustrating than getting disconnected playing single player, then having to reconnect, wait for an unskippable epilepsy warning before getting back into the game. As mentioned, there is a robust online mode which allows for a casual 3v3 with bots mode and a hardcore 6v6 mode. Online play was smooth despite my subpar connection, and each player was assigned a chaser and then a second position, being either your keeper, beater, or seeker. This meant the game was more dynamic without players having to jostle for positions, making it a smoother experience. Be warned though, as co-op play doesn't seem to unlock your progress in challenges or achievements. But for those who prefer offline like me, there is plenty of solo replayability thanks to the fantastic difficulty curve. I played for around 15 hours with 90% of it being solo, and I never found myself bored, and as I upped the difficulty, I found it an exciting challenge rather than getting steamrolled. It's really well done. For my witches and wizards looking into accessibility options, I'm pleased to report there's a library of accessibility options that you can toggle, including colorblind mode, auto leveling out your broom, text-to-speech, screen readers, outline thickness, font size and colors, and many more. It's great to see accessibility options in a title like this. As always though, I do recommend doing further research to find out if Quidditch Champions is for you. At just $50 Australian, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is a fantastic game, and it would be an essential purchase for fans of the Harry Potter series. For more casual movie watchers like myself, the gameplay managed to keep me hooked regardless of the source material with its incredibly rewarding and engaging gameplay mechanics. Its fast, action-packed style of play will make you feel like you're a Quidditch pro with lightning-fast reflexes, and its top-notch sound production quality will have you immersed in the wizarding world. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is yet another outstanding port on the Nintendo Switch, and may just need a small reparo charm to take it to the next level. So, what's it like? Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is like Rocket League crossed with FIFA. I award it an 82 out of 100.
And with that victory, Australia have won the coveted Quidditch World Cup.
Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way that you can support What's It Like is by liking and subscribing. And for the month of November, I'm donating all my channel earnings to my good friend Archie's Movember campaign. So if you've just watched this video, you're already doing your part.